Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to The Fix. It was an awesome weekend this past weekend at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where Kyle Busch dominated the first two segments. But in the closing laps, him and Martin Truex Jr. ended up getting in a wreck, allowing Casey Kane to make his way to the front of the field and win the race. You can order his race win diecast at lionelracing.com or your local dealer. We also had another Hendrick Motorsports driver, William Byron, drive the number 9 to victory lane once again this weekend and to his first win at Indy. All 124 scale will be autographed. You can get those at lionelracing.com or your local dealer. Plus, don't forget, Diecast Santa is on his way to Lionel Racing. You'll want to submit your diecast wish list to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter using hashtag #TheFix.
We've got news. And it's big. Lionel Racing is bringing big diecast back to mass retail. Introducing our all-new 1/24th scale NASCAR Authentics diecast. Priced at just $19.99, each of these official NASCAR replicas features a hardtop diecast body, rolling rubber tires, blacked out windows, and a streamlined deco package. The first waves of these new NASCAR Authentics cars will be in Toys R Us and Meijer stores this fall. They will also be available at additional retailers early next year. To find out more about these big new cars, visit lionelauthentics.com.
So this week on Collector Spotlight, we decided to change things up a little bit. We always look at your guys' cars, what cool cars you have in your collection. Well, this week, we wanted to pull some of the really cool cars that we have here in this building. And a lot of these are even Michael's personal collection. Michael's worked for Action for 20 years, worked in production, marketing, now licensing. So he's had a lot to do with a lot of the cars that we've done over the years, and he's got some really cool stories and backstories to these cars. And so one of the first cars that we're really going to talk about is this Bill Elliott car from 1995, the Batman Forever car. This is actually your car, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is when Batman Forever came out, and McDonald's was one of the head sponsors of the movie. And they ran this car on track, and we obviously wanted to produce it and made it in the Ford Thunderbird tool.
Yeah, and that's a really good car. And so from on that car, then Action actually sponsored one of their own cars as well, this Kenny Irwin car here.
Yeah.
That's a really great car from 1997. 1997.
Yep, and as you can see, the tooling's a little bit different, but you know, Kenny was an awesome race car driver and a great supporter of Action. And he ran this car in 97, and it's just a wonderful car.
Now, he worked probably closely with Fred and Action and all them back in the day of 97. Did you ever get to meet him in the building? Because you were actually in Phoenix.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, we did get to meet him. He was a good guy.
Yeah, that's a great car. That was one of the first cars that Action really ever sponsored. Not that we think it was ran in Phoenix.
Correct.
Okay. And so, all these good cars, but really got to talk about the one that I really think started the special craze. You got the Dale Sr. Winston Select car from 1995.
Correct.
And I think that started really a lot of the specials. Finishes and a lot of the cool things where teams really started to reach out to these guys and that's where started to reach out and get all these new special finishes going on.
Yeah, and I think the way the story goes was Fred and Dale talked about this car, and it was actually, the idea was put on a napkin, and I think Fred to this day still has that napkin.
Oh, wow.
So this whole story was brought about and how it came about.
And that car is one of the harder ones to find because we don't even have it right now. I'm not sure if there's one in this building. There might be.
Correct.
I think Howard has one somewhere in his office, somewhere hiding around in here.
Yep.
But this one here is actually the remake, but this is actually the elite version.
Correct.
Of this one. So, great cars. Those are really cool cars. But now we got to go on to Dale Jarrett and a Ford here, and the Batman car as well. Was this one of besides this Batman? I wonder if this was one of the first other Batmans kind of created, because this was when was this?
1998. So this was the 50th anniversary year of NASCAR, where the APOS logo changed. This also was run where his teammate Kenny Irwin ran the Joker car. It was one of the hardest cars we've ever produced, actually, where it had roughly 150 tampo plates to put all of the design on this car itself, and you can feel with the weight of it just from the paint alone how heavy that car is. And that's a special one that I've had for a while because it's a black window bank. Really shows off the paint scheme really well.
Yeah, that one's cool. I know a lot of people talk, that's a black window bank. And a lot of people talk about all these special cars, and then now we got to go into Tony Stewart. You know, in comes these guys. We had all these guys. You had Bill Elliott, you had Kenny Irwin, you had Dale Sr., Dale Jarrett, then Tony Stewart comes into the picture. And you get a really great car like this. Now, you actually got to work on this program, didn't
Correct.
you? Okay.
Correct, yeah. And I mean, we skipped a few years in between this where we jumped from 98 to 2004. But this was when they launched Shrek 2, excuse me. We'd already done a Shrek car, but this one right here was special just because of the special chrome finish that we did for it, as well as applying a bitmap to make the hood pop a little more. Tony actually thought this car looked like snot, if you can look at the way it looked like that. But it was actually a really cool program to work on.
Okay. Now, these cars, I know you were telling me earlier too, these are really special. And you got a really cool story about UPS. These were run at Phoenix.
Correct.
This was a special UPS and M&M Star Wars movie deal at Phoenix. You were there. You actually got to do that. So I'm sure the fans really want to know some more backstory to this car and really what happened at the track that you got to see.
Yeah, when I was in Phoenix, we actually had a group out here in Charlotte. Nikki, Linda, and Missy and Ashley, the 4 girls that helped with licensing and marketing out here, and they flew out to Phoenix and helped assist with this program. And it was really fun. We actually had M&M characters at track. You had the good versus evil, and you know, it was just a really fun program with having a real-life Darth Vader there, picking up Elliott Sadler at track, and having stormtroopers and desert rebels there as well.
Yeah.
It was a great program.
Yeah, those are really cool cars. And these are all Tampo plated as well, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And so this car, I know you said, like, I love, Tony Stewart's one of my favorite drivers. And I love his paint schemes, and there's some really cool paint schemes he's got out. You wanted to talk about this one. This is a great car. When did he run this, Daytona or something?
No, he ran that car at O'Reilly Auto Park in Indy. He ran that in a Busch. It was a Busch Series race. And it was just a real neat program we put together for an anniversary of James Dean. Fred was really tied. I'm a big fan of James Dean, and when we presented this to Tony Stewart, he was all on board. It was a special, we had to come up with a special paint. It was the first time we had done this Fleck Blue paint, as well as having our logos on the car. And then Tony, unfortunately, didn't finish well in the race. When it was done, we were able to get the actual body from the car, and you know, the hood, I think Fred still has the hood, and I have a piece of the quarter panel. And what we did was, when these cars came in, we actually cut up pieces of the sheet metal and hid them in some of the production run. We don't even know what numbers they got put in, but I'm sure a few people got the car.
Really?
And
So
like,
there's pieces of sheet metal of this
of the actual car that ran.
People got this, and it wasn't even advertised that way. So it showed up. People were like, "What's in my box? What is this?"
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. That's cool.
And if you look at the font, we did the same font as James Dean's old 130, his old Porsche Speedster.
Oh yeah.
We tried to tie it to him, and we worked with, I believe it was CMG Group back then that managed his rights, and it was a really good program.
Okay. All right. Now onto a Stewart car that it has got a really cool, playful scheme. The Madagascar Home Depot. This is another movie right program, I would assume. So
yeah, another DreamWorks partnership we did. They're wonderful partners, and this piece was actually exclusive to Home Depot. It's the hood open piece. And you could only buy it from Home Depot itself, and it was just a fun program to work on. And when he ran it on track, we actually had characters on track, like as we did with the Star Wars program.
So all these cars are really cool, and you have, this is really your collection, and you keep
They just sit in my office.
You keep these because you have a wide variety of paint schemes. You got decal versus Tampo, you got black window bank, you have clear window bank, you have standard cars. You just kind of keep these as reference and for when you're talking to other sponsors and licensees and to what we can do to build cars for them. So all great cars. Now we're going to skip another whole decade here and talk about finals. So we started with Batman. You had a really cool Batman there. Now we're going to end on the guy who's retiring. Dale Jr., really cool Batman car from last year. You have a great relationship with WB, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I've worked with them for almost 20 years now. Their contact there and I have been friends for 20 years, and through working with Action and meeting new people, Warner Brothers has been just an absolute wonderful partner from the diecast side and as well as a train side with Polar Express, Harry Potter, and other programs we've worked on with them. They're a great group of people to work with.
Cool. Well, got to tell you guys, before I finish on anything else, Michael's a really great asset to our team because he does have a great personality. He likes to work with, he has a great relationship with a lot of these licensees and stuff. And I mean, you were able to help get a lot of the deals, and we were able to get the Warner Brother cars, and a lot of other cars over the years that have been kind of tough, and you went to bat for the company and really got to build some really cool paint schemes over the years. So, but back to this Batman car. So you just got to know, with his year in retirement, there's a few of these left still at LionelRacing.com, probably your dealers, but you're going to want to get this car. It's a really cool car, especially there's still some left. And we're going to finish off for an opportunity for someone to win a diecast next week on The Fix when we air it, okay? Here's what we're going to do. From here back, not including this most recent one, from Tony Stewart all the way back to this older Bill Elliott car. Yep. If you have any of these cars on this table in your collection.
The original one of this one.
Yeah.
And these two would be fun to see in this era.
So maybe we'll say, okay, so we're going to say you got to have the original of the Dale, this Dale Senior Select, not this newer version.
Correct.
So of all these older cars, you got to take a picture of yourself holding the car. That's real important. Don't send us a picture of just the car. Send us a picture of you holding the car. And also, tell us a story about maybe when you bought it, why you bought it, why you liked it, just because we're also going to be judging on that. So we want you holding a picture of the car, or you with the car. Tell us about the car. Tell us a story about why you bought it. Send it to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using #TheFix, and we might select you to win a car next week, and we'll let you know. Other than that, Michael, thank you, man.
Thanks,
It's always good talking to you about all these cool cars. Don't forget to send us those photos as soon as you can.